Hi, everybody. I'm Hub Arkush for Pro Football Weekly, along with senior editor Eric Edholm, as we report live from Super Bowl XLVII in New Orleans, Louisiana. And you know, folks, every week for 22 of the last 23 weeks, we have previewed for you the game of the week. I think we know what the game of this week is. It's the Super Bowl. What actually happens in the Dome on Sunday between the San Francisco 49ers and the Baltimore Ravens? Eric, let's start with the Baltimore Ravens. What is the key for them on defense in dealing with the San Francisco 49ers?
I think it's preventing those first 2 or 3 drives for the 49ers to be these 7-play, 85-yard drives. You know, you want to get them off the field, keep them cold. And I know the Falcons had success their first 2 drives, and it helped them get that 17-0 lead. I think the Ravens are better equipped to defend a 17-0 lead than the Falcons were. So if they can hold serve early, not give up points those first couple of drives, I think they're going to put themselves in great shape, provided the offense does something as well.
Now, the difference in the Ravens' defense in the playoffs, they were good enough to win in the first 2 games. They were the difference in the game at New England, and the big change there, the pressure they were able to create on Tom Brady. They're going to have to do that to get Colin Kaepernick off his mark, but keep containment on the outside and not let him scramble out of that pocket. We look at the Ravens offense and what they have to do to deal with the San Francisco 49er defense. And Eric, you know, I think it's pretty obvious, even though 99, Mr. Aldon Smith, has not had a sack in his last 4 games, he's probably one of the people that the Ravens will be identifying.
Especially with the fact that Brian McKinney's new to this lineup at the left tackle position. You know, the left guard is new as well. They're going to have to use probably some backs and tight ends to help block not only Aldon Smith but Justin Smith. And you know, if those 2 are in peak form, and we know about Smith's injury, it's kind of slowed him down the last month or so. But if those guys are firing on all cylinders, that's going to be a really tough matchup for them. You might see Flacco have to roll out right and get out of that way a little bit.
You know, by the time we get to the Super Bowl, folks, we think we know these teams pretty well and they become predictable. But it was just 2 weeks ago in Atlanta where the 49ers went the entire first half of the game without running a play out of the pistol or calling the read option. What do the 49ers do on offense to deal with this Raven defense?
You know, that's what's so cool about them. They have multiple personalities in a good way. You know, they can change identities game to game. They can go with that intermediate and deep passing game if they have to. Crabtree, Vernon Davis. They can also go power and bring, you know, 7 offensive linemen out there, fullbacks, tight ends, you name it. And that's what's great. That's what makes them so hard to defend, I think. And this Ravens defense, as good as they've been in the second halves of these playoff games, I have a feeling they're going to be more tired, especially with that long halftime, than they have been in any of the games in the postseason so far.
Now, for the 49er defense, there's a very obvious challenge. The difference in the Ravens and Joe Flacco under Jim Caldwell as opposed to Cam Cameron, he's going down the field more. 12 touchdowns and 1 pick under Caldwell, just 18 touchdowns and 9 picks under Cam Cameron. His average per attempt is up half a yard, and the 49ers secondary is viewed as the one place where this defense may be a little vulnerable down the field.
You know, if they pay too much attention to Torrey Smith on the outside, even Jacoby Jones once in a while, if they're too worried about Anquan Bolden, they still have those tight ends to factor in too. Dennis Pitt has come alive a little bit down the seam, so there are really 4 guys I think they have to be worried about. Smith's averaging almost 18 yards a catch, has a bunch of 20-yard receptions this season, 16 overall. You know, Bolden I think has come alive, and if they see man defense, Bolden might be the guy who gets more separation than Torrey Smith coming off that line and facing the jam.
All right, Eric Edholm, senior editor of Pro Football Weekly. It's prediction time. We can't run away from this anymore. What do you think is going to happen?
My initial gut reaction was to pick the Ravens. You know, like a lot of people we've talked to down here, they just seem like the hot team. I think that's going to fare well, and I think that second half defense is going to be the key. If they can play the way they have against the Colts, Broncos, Patriots defensively, they're going to beat this 49ers team. Probably by 1 score, but I'm going to say 24-20 is the final. Baltimore wins.
Well, and that's the dilemma I think that we all have trying to pick this Super Bowl. Even for knowledgeable insiders, you would think you'd pick the best team. Last July, I said the 49ers had the best, most talented, deepest roster in the league. I still believe that. I'm convinced they're the best team. But in recent years, we've seen it's the hot team that matters. And for the 3rd year in a row, we have a team here that's won 3 games on the road. The Ravens are hotter at the moment than the Niners. Niners have been a little sloppy the last couple games, giving up 31 and 24 on defense. That said, I think the San Francisco 49ers have the best offensive line in football. I don't think the Ravens will be able to pressure Colin Kaepernick, and I do think Frank Gore is going to put up some numbers, maybe LaMichael James as well. I'll stay with the best team as opposed to the hot team. I like the 49ers, and I'm not sure it'll be that close. I think it'll be close into the fourth quarter, but I think I originally said 31-20, and I'm going to stick with that. That's our preview of Super Bowl 47. He's Eric Edholm. I'm Hub Arkush. Thanks so much for being with us all week long here in New Orleans. We'll have more for you, but for now, make sure you stay right where you are at ProFootballWeekly.com for the very best coverage in the NFL.